ЮАР в Москве, и Епифанцева Марина Геннадьевна, заместитель руководителя агентства консула ЮАР в Екатеринбурге. А сейчас здесь у нас проходит встреча господина посла с читателями библиотеки Белинского. Дело в том, что господин посол занимается литературным творчеством. Он автор 10 опубликованных книг. И сегодня у нас состоится торжественная передача книг господина Макетука в фонд библиотеки Белинского и открытие небольшой так называемой Южно-Африканской полки. Вообще идею создания данной полки, а точнее это...
It's a short biography of my grandparents. Because I was brought up by my grandparents, not by my parents. Father on the right, and then I've got my 2 great-great-grandmothers. Because I am a 6th or 7th generation in the lineage. So some of the things about these old people I was told by my aunts and by my uncles who were still alive.
It's connected with my past, with my youth, with my previous life, and I don't like to forget it. Don't want to forget it. I will live with it. I will die with it. That's all. It's maybe pathetic, but
As I understand, this is very important persons in your culture, and it was just great because so many, how to say.
Подарить вам очень весомый подарок. Я думаю, что вы подарите эти книги в любимую библиотеку вашей страны от имени любимой библиотеки в России.
I was asked by the library to come and have this talk because I'm very passionate about the Belinsky library. And let me perhaps tell you, where is Olga? Always ran away. What I like about her within the library, when I was here last year, I was taken to the section in the library where they are they are restoring old books. They are producing their own paper here. And all that took me through that whole process. You know, literally took me through that whole process, and I was surprised that anybody can restore old books. And I said, wow, this library. This library is different from the regional library in Kazan, because the regional library in Kazan is a modern, high-tech library. But look at this one. When we came in, somebody was coming here for the first time says, it reminds me of my childhood days when my mother would take me to the library to go and get books. You know, and this is exactly what you get here. It's a magnificent library. Now, and I've committed myself in each and every region of Russia that I visit. I visit libraries. On the 18th of July, which is Mandela Day, and July is Mandela Month, we're collaborating with the All Russia Library for Foreign Literature in Moscow. We are going to have a week, Africa Week, but there is a day specifically dedicated to South Africa. And I'll be giving, we're having a big event there with the library. That's part of the collaboration that we have with the library. And I'll be giving a lecture on Nelson Mandela as part of it. And there are other speakers also. So we are still going. One of the key tasks of Sergei, our new honorary consul, would be to work on themes of people to people. See, because at times, don't quote me, we tend as ambassadors concentrate on relationship with governments, and we forgot the relationship with the people. So part of our mandate within our foreign policy is to be engaged people to people. Now, this is what we are doing here. There are no, I'm sorry if you are. I hope you are not senior government officials. We are ordinary people here. We're ordinary people. Now, to me, it's important that for me to be addressing you, and when I heard that there is a group of people who read English literature, there it goes. And here I am with you, and I enjoy this type of engagement. Of course, there are other areas of engagement that we are going to be involved with the region. Because to us as South Africa, the whole Urals region, there's lots of compatibilities in the economic area, because South Africa is a mineral-rich area, and this region has got lots of minerals. And by the way, let me just remind you also, people of the Urals, that green stone, you don't have it anymore. Only. Huh? Finished. Oh, it's finished. You are buying it from us now. Fine. It's not a competition. But what I'm trying to say, there's a lot of commonalities, especially in the mineral side. So there will be a lot of, in the business side and investment side, there will be a lot of relationship, partnerships in that. I'll leave that to Sergei. Later, from time to time, he will come and address you on various topics. Be it this one, maybe I'll just appear on the virtual because I'm far. I'm too busy traveling to Ekaterinburg. But I will try as much as I can. Any other question?
So maybe I want to ask about your work about writing a biography of your grandparents. I was wondering exactly because maybe I try to compare my own experience a little bit. Maybe I think about some stories which my grandmother told me, and I think I'm not sure how much true those stories actually are. So I wonder, how do you make sense of what your grandparents told you, and what parts do you think were important enough, and how can you be sure that, well, it's basically a true story? And that's the second part of the question: why would you want to write a biography of your grandparents, but not your actual parents, actually?
Okay. That's why I explained right from the beginning that I was brought up by them. I was not brought up by my parents. My father died when I was 11 months old. 11 months old. So I don't know my father. I only know my father through being told about him as well. Why do I write about them and not write about me? I have already done close to about 1,500 pages of my own memoirs. But there's always this thing in me, why should I write memoirs while I'm still alive? Because my life still continues. That's one. But also number two, my life has been up and down. When I think now I'm retiring from being a diplomat, then I'm being called, Ambassador, we want to send you to Russia. Then I'm in Russia now for my 3rd year. And my life history, that's being in Russia, brings now another dimension which, if I leave it out, when you read this biography, you say, but why does this ambassador not write about the 4 years that he has been in Russia? Why? What is he avoiding? You know? Now, and journalists will ask me those questions. You know what I've done? I keep on saying, okay, I will see it when I completely retire. But you might find that when I think I've retired, then I will be doing something else. That's the reason.
And what do you think? How can you be?
Yes. No, okay. Yeah. That's now. One of the leading oral story writers, a Mexican by the name of names again. He says oral history is good, especially in societies where history has not been written. But he says, as a writer, always be careful about the fading memory of the narrator. That is now your aunt or your or your sister, your father's elder sister, who is telling you about your father. Says be careful, because number one, her own memory would have faded, and all of us know our memories fade as we grow. Not so. It's natural, right? And he says the forgetfulness of the old. Now he says there is a tendency, and I've experienced that when I was writing the biography of the old people. Some of my aunts said, no. Your aunt is wrong here. This is not how this thing happened. Then I would say, how did it happen? Now, you try to the best of your ability to weigh the balance of probability. Because you go to another one, they say, no. Your aunt is wrong. Now, it's 2 against 1. That's number one. Now, there's also a tendency amongst elder people. Now, I don't know in the Russian society, but in the African society, even storytelling tends to be hierarchical. It's about age. I know better than you. You were a child. Would my aunt, the eldest in the family after my father, would say, no, these ones, they don't know anything, they were young. So be careful of those. But as a writer, again, it's folklore. Because it's interpretations. So that's what you do. The other parts, somebody tells you grotesque things about your grandmother. Your grandmother was a cruel person. You say, okay, my grandmother was a cruel person. I'm not going to write that one. Because what you put in between those lines, these pages, you are the only one who will stand by it, nobody else. So you take it out because you don't, number one, you don't want controversies. Or number two, you are not sure if it is true or not. So leave it out. You're not going to lose anything. Maybe you might find that it's only a tiny bit of the bigger story that is true. It's choices. It's your decision as a writer. It's your story. But again, here is another thing. We writers can be arrogant. We're writing, and Nadim was one of those. Nadim would say, look, I've written this book. Yours is to read. You believe in what I'm writing. You do not believe or not. I cannot force you. You decide as a reader. Because I've written, I've given you the story. Again there, as a writer, you take your decision. You take a decision as a writer. Any other question? Yes, madam.
Please, Mr. Ambassador, you are a very busy man. Please describe the morning of your dream. You wake up, open your eyes, and... Thank you.
That's a difficult question. That's a difficult question. But I think all of us have those moments in life. All of us have those moments in life. Others, they have got happy moments. Happy moments. The world is open for them. Others, they don't have challenges. My grandchildren say, no, Grandpa. Don't worry, we don't have worries. We're still young. You can worry. But the reality of the matter, and then the American, you meet a person in the street, hey my brother, how are you? I'm over the moon, my brother. But when you look at the person, you just see there is nothing over the moon. Now the Americans have got a way, they will never say, no, things are bad, my brother. And they believe that, what are you going to help me about? I'm meeting you in the street, then I'm telling you my problems. What are you going to do? You're not going to help me. So, for them to pass, no, over the moon, my brother. But, what? Now, as an ambassador, at training, we are told that you are a mother, you are a father, you are an uncle, and you know what that means? You deal with things at times that has got nothing to do with diplomatic work. You deal with human issues. An individual is frustrated. He's frustrated at work. An individual can't cope with the challenges of work. He's got to travel. He doesn't have time to be with his or her family. And then the ambassador says, no. why did you come to Moscow? You're not going to work. So you deal with those things. You deal, but then there are moments. You see, for example, since we arrived here on Sunday, yes, we arrived on Sunday. We can't remember when we arrived here. You know, Ekaterinburg this year. This is my third visit to Inaprom. This is my third visit to Ekaterinburg. But this visit is different. This visit is different. It is exciting. It's really exciting. Today, before we came here, when we were officially opening, all the senior people from government were there. Now, that was, we have Yuri who came all the way from Vladivostok to come and support Sergei. Now, that's a stimulation. And all of us, with the things that we have been discussing, and we have met outside Inaprom now, we have met many, many role players. I met the president of the Chamber of Commerce, who is passionate about his work, and I never come to this city without visiting. And then, of course, there are other younger ones. So we've got our sister here, all the way from Kazan. She's always with us. She's come to support us. We talk, we meet, because they are important to us. So that's how I can, that's my moments when I wake up. At times, of course, man, let me say, can anybody guess how young am I?
Very young.
You can? No. 60.
5'5".
More than 60.
What?
More than 60. 70 maybe.
60.
5'5".
71. I'm going for 72. Have I not done well? Come on, guys.
Because I remember your words about childhood, about do you remember the Soviet Union?
You read my biography. You must have read some of my books. You must have read some of my books. I was born on the, you know, I'm a man, and I usually say we men, not we men. We men, we're not scared of our age, not so. Quiet, men are quiet. Normally men are not scared of their age, but I never ask a lady because I know there are two things. One, the age is going to be 10 years younger than what the lady is. Or she's not going to answer me. I saw that your hand was up again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simple question.
Yes.
You say that you are writer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you read? And what did you read? And your favorite writer name?
Favorite writer.
Yeah. Not many. One or two.
I mentioned earlier on Zaytunda. He's one of my favorites. Second favorite writer that I have is Dr. Alan Paton, who wrote the book Cry the Beloved Country. It's a classic. It's a classic. You have to read it. You have to read it. So those are my favorite writers. I read anything. I grew up amongst my uncles who used to believe that each and every scrap of paper is education. I read anything. What? I read anything. And of course, as a writer, never go into writing if you are a lazy reader. you're going to make a bad writer. Don't even try it if you are a lazy reader. And the answer is simple. You learn from the others. Styles at times. Huh? Styles at times differ. On the same topic and the style. My favorite amongst the Russian classics is Dostoevsky. I heard it's surprising.
It's not surprising.
Oh, it's not surprising.
It's not.
Oh, okay, спасибо. Because I've heard people saying that I think Dostoevsky is depressing. Then I asked, but why is he? Have you asked yourself that question? His own life experience. He didn't have a prestigious life, did he? Didn't. He had all the challenges that all human beings have in his life. Herman Charles Bosman, that I'm talking about, the best short story writers in South Africa. Herman Charles Bosman was arrested for murder and he was sentenced to death. And his death was commuted because during that period, I think he was going to be a sentinel of South Africa, something like that. Then he got commuted. That's how he survived. I know the director. Looks like. It looks like there are no questions.
Oh, maybe.